I'm Peggy from Potato Patch Nutrition. We get a lot of questions over email concerning people's horses, and so I'm going to read one today and answer it, and hope it can reach some more people that maybe are experiencing some of the same things with their animals. And this is someone who had ordered something from us before for a different horse. I'm thankful that your formulas exist. There aren't many other supplements this comprehensive in terms of ingredients. I am hoping to knock out hind gut ulcers for this guy and slowly phase out his omeprazole. Would you recommend Tum Tum for this? What is the usual timeline look like for hind gut ulcers? We are swapping his feed also, and hopefully that will help him as well. I had suggested to her in the with the previous horse to change its feed from a grain that had wheat in it, and that horse had metabolic issues, to just oats and alfalfa or beet pulp shreds. And so she had been changing this other horse's, so she was currently going to change this other horse's feed as well, which is a really good idea. One of the things that we see with hind gut ulcers, and the reason that we're seeing so much of it, is partly because the wheat molecule, as it goes through, because it's genetically modified, the gluten molecule is much, much bigger, and it's actually kind of rough. It's not a smooth molecule. And as it goes through the colon, it slices off the cilia. In humans, it's called celiac disease. And when it slices those cilia are, and what the cilia are is their little fingers, like tentacles or appendages within the colon, and they go down into the food that's come in, and they suck out nutrition, and then they also help to move the food along as it's being processed. And when the cilia are sliced off, a couple things happen. The horse is then unable to pull in nutrition into the body and fluid. And a lot of times what you'll see, one of the first indicators of that, is that even though the poop is coming out and formed, and they're still, they may not be as hard, but they're still fairly formed little donuts. And but then there'll be a lot of water that will come out after it. And this isn't normal. There shouldn't be liquid that comes out around the poop. And the reason that liquid is coming out is that cilia is actually responsible for absorbing the water and the nutrition out of the manure. So if you have a lot of fluid, that fluid is being pushed through, one, because it can't be absorbed, and two, because it's there to protect the colon wall. Because when that cilia is gone, then you have an open wound, and it can't protect itself. Your colon wall can't protect itself from invaders. And so hind gut ulcers a lot of times will happen because when the cilia comes off and that bleeding starts to happen, the body can't protect itself, and so a sore will begin to happen there, and the acid in the system will start to eat hole there, and it actually will cause leaky gut and all kinds of really horrible things. I've seen it go as far as causing colitis, and that can actually lead to uncontrollable diarrhea and eventually sepsis, because with that cilia being gone, and anything within the system, good or bad, can get through and directly into the bloodstream. The cilia does decide what's going to come into the system and what isn't, and when it is sliced off and then you just have an open bleed, anything can go in and out that wants in and out. And so that's a very detrimental thing. So the first thing I would do with a horse with hind gut ulcers is make sure that there's no wheat in the horse's diet. Go back to just straight oats, alfalfa. Alfalfa is actually very comforting to a horse that has ulcers of any kind. And then our product Tum Tum is designed to soothe those things, to feed the hind gut, to feed that microbiome, to help the mucosa wall, which is basically just a wall of very thick mucus that just protects. It's a protective layer. One of the things that you can do right away to help a horse that you think might have ulcers is to get good salt. And by good salt, I don't mean white table salt or any salt that says sodium chloride on it. Good salt would be, well, my favorite two are Baja Gold, which you can get on Amazon, and Celtic salt, which you can also get on Amazon. Those are the two best salts. They have the most minerals available in them, and they will be beneficial in every way. They will help the body to build that mucosa wall. The next thing that I would do is baking soda. And baking soda will help the body to set up an alkaline environment. And the alkaline is really important solely because the good bacteria in the horse's body will thrive in that alkaline environment. When it becomes too acidic, then it's really hard for them to survive. But the bad bacteria love acidity. And so if you can just simply make the system a little bit more alkaline, you will actually help a lot. And then the salt will go in and help to build that mucosa wall. So those are two really simple things that you can do if you are concerned that your horse might be experiencing ulcers. And also even just allergies, because allergies are actually driven from the gut flora as well. Generally speaking, hind gut ulcers take about 60 days in order to heal fully. And that is if you have removed gluten from their diet. And oats will actually help the hind gut, because not all of the oats, as I'm sure you're aware if you've ever fed oats, not all of the oats get broken down in the gut, and you'll see some that appear to be whole as they come out the other end. And that's actually a good thing, because they're actually feeding the microbiome as they go through. So that's a couple things that I would do. I wouldn't feed a lot of oats. I feel like a pound of oats a day for a horse is plenty. And if you're old school and you used to use a coffee can, that's about a half a coffee can. And so that amount of oats, regardless of the weight of the horse, if you want more bloom on the horse, then I would strongly suggest something like alfalfa pellets, beet pulp shreds, something of that nature to help to increase the protein values. So I hope that helps. And if you or someone has any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We want all the fur babies of the world to be comfortable. Have a great day.